Hello, soon-to-be homeowners. Welcome back to the First Time Home Buying Guide video series. I'm Matt, and it has been a pleasure to be your guide on this journey of how do you get best prepared to get into that home for the first time. Now, in this last part, we are going to go through the funnest piece that you get, which is to go out and look at homes and make an offer on a house. What do you need to have in your hands? What are sellers going to be looking for and requiring? And what should your lender really be providing during this piece of the transaction to make sure you have the highest rate of success for getting your contract accepted? All right, part 5. We're going to be out. We're going to get it. We're pre-approved. We are now going to go out and we're going to make offers on a home. Now, when we are a buyer and we already know we are going to have financing, we are going to traditionally submit contracts to a seller because you're going to always make your offers in writing. They may have a list price of a certain number. You may have a certain number that you want to go in with. You may have some requests for some closing costs or other types of negotiation pieces. That's your contract. Now, what you're really going to need on top of that, because your contract's going to show in writing to your seller maybe what your down payment's going to be and how much you're going to finance. So you're going to need a pre-qualification letter. And that pre-qualification letter really needs to be vetted by your lender with those items that we talked about in parts 2, 3, and 4, because that's going to make sure that pre-qualification letter is solid. Now, what a seller is really going to want to do, and especially that seller's agent, is talk to that lender. They're going to want to say, hey, look, can we talk to them? Can we make sure that we can ask them some questions about that situation? So let's kind of share about what a lender really can share with them and what they cannot. So you have financial privacy. And, we're not going to ever share details with a seller or a seller's agent about specifics on your particular loan approval. We're not going to share with them what your credit scores are. We're not going to tell them what your income is. We can't really tell them what job you do or where you work or how much money that you have in the bank. Those are items that if a seller does happen to ask me that, I'll let them know that my clients have financial privacy and I cannot share that information. You want to make sure that you've gone to walk through this with your lender. How do you best prepare when we are making an offer? What is your strategy here? And see how they kind of come back to you on that. Now, as a lender myself, when I am assisting a client and we have this, we've completed all our pre-approval pieces, we're going to put this down in writing. We're going to show what loan amount, and we're going to have that match what the sales contract is going to be. We're going to break down what the payment is that we have vetted. We're going to show them in writing that we have seen credit and income and assets through a checkbox kind of situation on that form to let them know that these items are in writing and we've seen it, and I as the lender are going to sign that. We're also going to let them know when that credit report may expire. Credit reports are traditionally good for about 90 days, so we want to make sure that they feel good that you have gone through this system. Now, what a good lender should be doing, something that I feel is just pertinent to making sure that my clients have the best ability to get their contract approved, is calling that listing agent. When I call that listing agent, I'll let them know that I'm working with Mr. and Mrs. Jones, and we've gone through that full vetting process, that we've seen the income, we've seen the assets, we've talked about the credit, we have the automated loan approvals in place, because we'll be able to do that all at the origination level and let them know that we have got that information and we have vetted it, and that they are in good hands with somebody who has been pre-underwritten and is ready to go. That is going to hopefully keep us above any other offers and show the seller and the seller's agent that we are going to keep lines of communication open. Another portion that is very important to do during the transaction is make sure that everyone in the transaction is kept up to speed at least once a week on a status report. Because what we find is that when we keep everybody in a good communication, they know where the transaction's at. They feel confident that we're moving through the steps and that we need to. And if there's something that does come up, sometimes those things do. Maybe an appraisal has some additional questions to it, or maybe there's a value question that we need to address. What we're doing is making sure we're keeping lines of communication open, because we want to all have the same success story at the end to close that transaction and put that new buyer in there. Well, if you have made it this far, thank you so much for joining us along this first time home buying guide video series. Our goal is really to make sure that you're best equipped to know where you're going to go into on one of the largest purchase transactions you'll ever make in your life. Having the right information is just critical when we're making decisions of this nature. Our goal and one of our mottos is to leave people better than we found them. We know with the better information, you're going to make better decisions and you're going to have a lot more confidence on what to expect next. When you have questions, you want to make sure that you've got a good partner with you that's going to help you walk through this so you best understand. Wish you the best of luck out there in your home searches and this process of obtaining your very first home.